Hello and welcome to Let's Chat. Now, we are part of the Disability Channel where we showcase abilities. As always, I am your host, Cynthia Stone. Now, today I am joined by the lovely Sophie. Sophie has a master's degree in social work, is an advocate, and also has a master's, I would say, in street smarts. We are going to hear from her how she has gone from victim to survivor to thriver. Something that we can all be inspired by and listen to the wisdom coming from her. All right, well, stay tuned because we'll be back momentarily. And welcome back. I am so delighted to have with me Sophie. Thank you, Sophie, for being here with me today.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Pleasure. Now, Sophie, you are here a young lady, but you weren't always this vibrant and fabulous. As many diamonds, sometimes we start out as coals, and then we have to be cut and formed into the beautiful gemstone that we become. Tell us about your journey.
I didn't even realize how ignorant I was before my journey. Oh my God, I learned so much. I used to work on the other side where I would be advocating for people. I started really early. I started in addictions and substance abuse treatment, and I started studying in that, and then from there I came into more human advocacy. I got my bachelor's in social work, and I got my paralegal certificate, and I started getting into landlord and tenant, just human rights, things like that. And I would work on the landlord side, but also the tenant side. I wasn't like one way or the other.
So on the human rights umbrella, you were righting the wrongs. But
yes.
What prompted you to be an advocate?
It happened to me where I was assaulted. I was sexually assaulted in my own apartment one night. And I was really surprised with the reputation that I had and what I've done. How many people didn't really take my side. They didn't believe me. They said that I was looking for attention. Wow. And it was a very tough climb mentally. When you have everybody giving you that kind of energy, people that mean a lot to you in some cases, it's really hard to swallow that kind of pill. It is actually thanks to those I would believe that stuck by my side. And some of them still in the mental health system, some old colleagues, I ended up losing my position where I was because I lost my credibility. A lot of things happen in the course of things. And I realized then that I need to stand up for others. I need to be a voice. I need to... I would hate to have to see that happen to anybody else on any stretch of the imagination, so there was something I absolutely had to do in some case of awareness. In my case, it kind of just sat in my lap. I was at a party, and I was attacked at the party, and all my friends were there, and mortified, I pepper sprayed them off me, and I feel terrible for it to this very day. I feel absolutely terrible for it, but what I don't feel terrible for is the awareness that it caused to this very day. The whole subject is being looked at completely differently. I couldn't be any more grateful. And more and more people are coming to me for advice, given the situation that I'm in, and I am more than happy to be able to give that advice in whatever the case that may be, whether that may be just an ear or just if they want to know what I've been through, if they have any questions. I'm completely non-judgmental.
So let me get this straight. Sorry to cut you off, but something wasn't clear to me. You're telling me that you were a victim of sexual assault, mm-hmm. and when you spoke about it, people not only denied that it happened, but you were actually silenced and you internalized that. I mean, from a social work perspective, post-traumatic stress disorder comes across my mind. Is any of this ringing true for you? Can you speak to that?
Oh, yes, absolutely, I can. It was, it definitely caused a little bit of trauma, I'm not going to lie. Again, it was thanks to, some really close people. My boyfriend at the time swallowed more than he can chew. We're not together because of it anymore, but we're like this. We're so close. Mm-hmm. So it's thanks to the really good friends that I had in my life that pulled me through this. It's really funny, when like I said, the position that I was in and everything that I've done, how anyone could even consider that I would lie about something like that. But it was sort of my fault too. I kind of waited a long time to say anything. Long time, meaning from what I'm hearing, I waited 5.5 weeks before I said anything. But I wanted to put it behind me. I didn't want I didn't want it to come out in the way that it did. I was trying to really keep it down. But in a way, I guess whatever happens is for the best. This person was dealt with through the justice system by the end of it. So
thank goodness for that.
You know what? Absolutely, thank goodness for that.
So you had mentioned that in the course of this particular assault, you were in a kind of work.
Oh yeah. I was also an escort at the time. Yes. Yes.
So you were, okay.
Yes.
And fair enough. You were an escort. So
yes.
Did that impact at all how people?
Oh, yes, it did. Yes, it did. And it's not even, and people think it's a lot crazier than it really is. It's really not that crazy of a profession. I kind of went along with that in the side of my social work side, my therapy side. Like, people would call me for a multiple of different reasons other than what people normally think people call escorts for. Have I gotten confused? Yes, I absolutely have. But by no stretch of the imagination should that ever have come into play with the experience that I had and in what I was saying. I clearly knew the difference between consensual and unconsensual, assault or sex. And, again, it kind of just slightly blew my mind. But I also found... a lot of people, but integrity is a big word. Mm-hmm. So integrity is a big word, and a lot of people sold me out for a lot of different reasons, and that's for another time. I can't, but I did have a lot of people who were by my side, thank goodness.
And that is tremendous.
That is worth its weight in gold. I'm so grateful. To people who are with me right now, my children, my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, any friends, my family particularly. I'm so happy to have had them there and to have had their support, because without it, I don't know where I'd be right now.
And that definitely speaks to it. I mean, when you go through a difficult time, you really do need to have an entourage, people that can support you, people that can believe in you, and just thinking about the fact it shouldn't matter what line of work you're in. At the end of the day, a wrong is a wrong.
I could have been a janitor.
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, a wrong is a wrong. Exactly. Yeah. And you're so great. I mean, to have had that support is tremendous. And to be able to speak about it now speaks to your strength. So moving beyond this awful experience, but also empowering and showcasing your ability to persevere. How did you come through that then, knowing that you were in fact being looked at as somebody that brought it on themselves, looking at somebody that is not to be believed? How were you able to muster the courage, and what kind of tips could you give to our viewers?
Honestly, really good behavior. Really good behavior. Be honest. Okay. Be honest about everything. Don't hide anything. If there's something bothering you, let it out. Make sure you tell somebody you care about, somebody that you think can help you. Even if that person doesn't help you, keep speaking, keep reaching out. That's really the only advice that I could give. Make sure there's a lot of helplines available. I know the crisis helpline for Toronto, I know that number. Anybody is free to call that. Like I said, I'm open to talk. I thought that was extremely therapeutic. People who would reach out to me and ask me if I was okay or if they had any questions, that was therapeutic to me, because they were taking a personal interest in my well-being. So, that's probably the biggest piece of advice that I can give is make sure you reach out, be honest, be true to yourself. Like, just whatever, just keep, a lot of people would tell me, just think of yourself. And you really do honestly have to just think of yourself. You have to stay true to yourself. And that's the only way that you're going to get the help that you need.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm reminded of a quote that I love, where it says, we're like photography, we develop from the negatives. And truly, I mean, this was something that could have destroyed you. It could have absolutely broken your spirit and caused you to derail. But rather than allow that to happen, you've actually gained wisdom from this experience. You've been shown basically who your true friends are, who you can actually turn to in a time of trouble. And you are inspiring. I mean, not only myself, I definitely feel inspired, but people watching, anyone around you. I mean, to be able to not only come through that, but want to help others to join you is truly nothing short of remarkable.
Oh, that whole Me Too movement in October,
Yes.
I cried when that happened. I cried because
Now,
that was
for viewers who aren't aware of what that is, if you could tell us.
when Harvey Weinstein was pulling his whole shenanigans. A whole bunch of celebrities came out with that whole Me Too campaign in October 2017. The first time I heard that, I cried, because that was like the very first justification of things are going to be different, and now things are different, and things are making a step forward. This kind of behavior was completely acceptable 10 years ago, 15 years ago, up until like what, 2-3 years ago. This behavior would happen and it would be totally acceptable. Now it's seen as not only unacceptable, but now people, individuals, companies, organizations, they're all making the proper steps to change things for the better. So this way we feel comfortable when we go into establishments, when we go into restaurants, if we go into a bar, if we go into work, we should feel comfortable doing so. And I think society is taking the right step forward from here on in. I really do.
Well, that is fabulous to hear. We're on the right path. Yeah, so something positive can come out of such a negative experience. Now, that is truly tremendous. You are advocating. You are part of that movement. You are inspiring others. How can people reach you if they want to talk to you?
My Facebook is always open. There's a whole bunch of bananas and shenanigans happening on my Facebook, and I'm totally okay with that for the most part. You get to learn a lot about people and their perspective and the way that they see things on Facebook, so you can reach me there, Sophie Dominique. And that's probably the best way to reach me. Also, we do have a crisis helpline, which is 416-408-4357 for the people in Toronto if they need to reach out to speak with somebody. I think that's also very important too.
Yeah, that's truly amazing. So you are here. You have come through crisis. You have gained perspective. You have lent yourself to serving others. You have been able to move mountains and really be part of the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah. Nothing can make me happier than what I've seen going forward, I got to tell you. So.
That's fantastic. All right, we'll be right back. Thank you. Isn't Sophie fantastic? I mean, it's women like her who are courageous enough to share their story that truly allow us to move forward. The Harvey Weinstein situations that we've heard about, her taking the courage to actually speak about something, giving a voice to the voiceless. Now, I know there are a lot of viewers out there, and particularly in the disability community, who are often preyed upon, looked upon as not being able to vocalize what they go through. And having women like Sophie able to empower them to be able to say, you know what? I am not my label, and I deserve human rights, basic human rights like anyone else. So thank you for the courageous words of wisdom, and for people like Sophie, like you, the viewers out there, who have actually taken a stand to say that it is not acceptable. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. So thank you for watching, and please feel free to comment, share your insights. We'd love to hear from you. You can always check us out at thedisabilitychannel.ca. Again, I'm Cynthia Stone, an advocate myself. I've seen firsthand what happens to women, to people of First Nations, to people of limited means. And it goes across the board. What happens to one is a reflection of what happens to many. So thank you for watching. You can tweet us, and you can follow us on Facebook.